friends. I'm your host, Erin Port, and welcome to the Simple Purposeful Living podcast. Life can be overwhelming and busy, so once a week, I invite you to join me, and together we will make simple tweaks to uncomplicate the hard parts of our life so we can spend more time doing what we love. Welcome back to the Simple Purposeful Living podcast, friends. I have my first guest of 2025, and I'm so excited. It's my trainer, Amy Boyd. She is a wealth of information, but instead of me introducing her, I want you to get to know her a little better. So, Amy, welcome to the show.
I'm so honored. I did not know I was the first 2025 guest. That's amazing.
Yes.
Go ahead, girl.
I said, start with the best. Now, tell us a little bit about yourself, how you got into physical fitness, training, all of the things.
Yeah. So right now I run BA Fitness, which is my online and in-person personal training business. And I also do nutrition coaching. I do it right out of my house, which is a huge blessing. I just go out to my garage, do my thing, go back in, get my dinner ready. I'm a mom of two girls. One is in college right now. She's playing golf. And she also, I think, studies. I got another one that is in high school. She's a junior already, which is hard to believe. I'm a stepmom to a kiddo that's about ready to graduate college. And I'm a dog mom to a great big active dog that keeps me moving too. And also just a quick background that I think is important for people to know. I used to be a school teacher. So I'm giving to live out like my dream of teaching, but also my love for fitness. So I get to combine those two things, which is really cool.
I guess I didn't know you were a teacher. What grade did you teach?
Yeah, I taught third and fourth grade, and I absolutely adored it. It's definitely my sweet spot, but all of my money was going to daycare, and I was just having this like mom guilt situation. So stayed home, did the daycare thing, and then on top of that, got my personal training license because I liked to do fitness and wanted to help out other moms. So kind of the birth of personal training came out of my need as a mom and my also desire to teach others. So it was a pretty cool combination.
And now I would say, I mean, I know you coach some non-moms, but would you say a lot of your clientele is people like me, moms?
Yeah, I think, you start to find your niche in kind of what you do yourself. And I'm a 44-year-old. I'm in the throes of like figuring out what that looks like in my life. And so people tend to be drawn towards me, but I also have a competitor side. I did a lot of years of competing in CrossFit. So I also have a power lifter right now. I have a 10-year-old girl that just wants to feel strong. And I have two teenage boys that are working on like agility and speed training. So while most of my clients are moms, I do have a gamut of other options too, and like things that help me grow and learn as a trainer. So,
okay, I'm going to throw you a curveball. I always give my guests their questions ahead of time, but I was thinking about this as I was preparing this morning. What is, if you like among the moms, among the women, is there any theme of like something that they believe about fitness that you feel like you have to help them overcome?
So huge. So something about me, most people don't know, I was 188 pounds and very overweight and just not a healthy human being in college. And I have a lot of empathy towards women, especially that come to me, and this is a common theme, and say like, I am not comfortable in my own skin. I don't know what I'm doing. I know something needs to change, but I'm not sure even what that first step is going to look like. And that's a big common thing. And it's just this uncomfortable feeling of like this tension between I'm stuck. I don't want to be stuck, but I don't know what that first step should be. And I've been there. And I think that experience for me and coming to the other end of my health spectrum helps people in that first step and then those steps after.
And I felt that way when I came to you, right? Like I knew what I had gotten. I knew where I'd gotten on my own, but I knew I needed help. I wasn't comfortable in my own skin. I'm like you said, I was in my 40s. I could see and sense changes in my body. And I always am so in awe of people. Like I was kind of proud of myself, not to toot my own horn, because I don't like to do that. But like that first initial step of bravery to say like, hey, I need help. That is huge.
I know that I've got people when they're to that question because they're past like the consideration phase and they're into the change phase. And I don't think they know they are, but like once you wonder what that first step should be, like you're there. You just need a little push, right, to get to that first step.
Yes, I love that.
Yeah.
And you were right on it. Like I was like, "Hey, I think I want to do this." And like 30 minutes later, you're like, "Hey, when can we which I needed because you almost built on that like that piece of I'm she's ready, but we've got to capitalize on it before she has all the excuses not to.
That's right. That's exactly right. Yes, yes,
Okay.
yes.
So we kind of touched on this a little bit, but I want to make sure that we touch on anything else you think about. What's one thing you wish people understood about
Mhm.
fitness, especially those who feel like we talked about, like they aren't athletic or they don't feel good in their skin or they've never enjoyed working out?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think there's a lot of misnomers, like misconceptions about fitness out there. And one is like that you have to be like super uncomfortable and like
Mm.
in a sweat puddle when you're done. And the reality is if you're doing it right, you should feel energized and feel good and ready to attack whatever's remaining of your day when your workout is done. So there's this like feeling out there that it has to be crazy intense and that I have to hate every minute of it. Surprise fact, friends, burpees don't have to be in your routine. I know it's crazy, but they don't have to be in your routine. So that's number one. Like working out should feel good. Number two, I think is really important is that like it doesn't have to start with lots of things. And actually, people
Mm.
that start with several things tend to fail, right? Because there's so many things happening, but like one small focus at a time. And maybe that's a 10-minute walk, but start small and really nail it and feel successful with that thing and then layer on the next piece. But I think people think that fitness again needs to cross. I need to do all the resistance training. I need to do all the cardiovascular training, and I need to start both tomorrow. And one thing at a time builds a lot more success and like consistency than trying to add it all in all at once.
Yes, I so first of all, when I came to your garage for the first time, I was
Mhm.
literally like, I might die. I,
Yeah.
I said
Yeah.
my
It's
farewells to
common.
my, but you taught me this idea of it doesn't have to be painful. I don't have to walk away like not able to like walk or function the next day. Actually,
Mhm.
burpees aren't part of my workout because we discovered that anything over my head gives me a migraine, which you helped me finally figure out after all these years.
Yeah.
So I think a good trainer like you can modify a workout to meet your needs and something you can enjoy. And I have really come to
Yeah.
love our time together, and that's a whole nother story for so many reasons. But
Yeah,
uh,
and I think Erin, not everybody can find a trainer, and it's
mhm.
just so great that we're like right next door. But if you're not in either the financial means to find a trainer, or it's just not a proximity situation for you, like find a group fitness
Mhm.
class. Like go to even like your fitness worlds or those bigger gyms. Make those gyms seem smaller, right? By finding a group fitness class that maybe is like a dance class or kickboxing or cycling, something that would pique your interest just a little bit, and be brave, grab a buddy if you need to, but like go try that class and be willing to do like a 50% effort and just say, I'm just going to show up and I want to feel good afterwards. I don't want to feel like I'm going to fall off the bike or like this was the worst decision of my life. Just take it down a notch. And I promise you this too. I found this like, this is like when you go to like a holiday dinner or something and you want to eat a little bit healthier and somebody kind of like sees you and they're like, okay, if she's eating a little bit healthier, maybe I
Mm.
have permission to do so too. When you are willing to take things a little bit easier pace to start out with, somebody else is looking at you and like, oh, thank you. Because I didn't want to have to go that hard and that fast, but I kind of felt like that's what everybody else was doing. So just give yourself permission to start small, start slow, and feel good afterwards.
I love that. I loved group fitness when my kids were small because it
Yeah.
gave me a minute to just focus on myself
Mhm.
and then the kids could be in daycare. They loved it. And then I
Yeah.
left energized and ready to tackle the rest of the day. So I love that you brought that up. That's so,
Good.
so good.
Good.
Okay. So many people feel overwhelmed. Like there are probably a
Mhm.
few of them that are like, I'm tuning it out because I don't want to hear it. But so many people feel they're overwhelmed at the thought of starting a fitness routine. You kind of
Yeah.
talked on that, like don't go too big too fast. But what are some tiny practical tweaks to lower the bar to start without it feeling like a major life overhaul?
Yeah, I love your tweaks. I think they're so great. And I think I had tweaks without knowing they were tweaks. So one of my favorite tweaks is just to put your time and your calendar ahead.
Mm.
And I know you're a big calendar user, and so am I. But easily my calendar can be usurped by my kids' activities, by walking my dog, and by my clients. And so if I'm not intentional about even taking 10 to 15 minutes off my calendar just for me to get my movement in, it's probably not going to happen. So literally the week before, so like Saturday or Sundays, I'm getting into my calendar and I'm finding those windows for myself, and I schedule myself like a client.
Mm.
So there's my name, and that's my time for me to get my movement done, whatever that happens to be. So that's a small tweak you can make as you're preparing maybe your meals for the week ahead, like putting yourself in your calendar. And then another favorite tweak of mine, I used to have to get up, this is terrible, at like 4 a.m. to work out when I was a school teacher because I wanted to prioritize my movement, but like my evenings were my kids and then it was grading papers. So I would get to the gym before I was a school teacher. And the only way I found to make that happen was this tweak. It sounds weird, but I slept in my workout clothes.
Mm.
Because when I woke up in the morning, I was like, okay, I'm already dressed. Like that excuse is gone. And then I took my workout shoes and I put them by my alarm, which was across the room.
Mm.
So my point in that is not that you have to get up at 4 a.m. because that was not great, but set up your environment so that it's conducive for you to do what you want to do. So having your shoes out and ready is a simple tweak that you can have. Having your alarm in a place where you have to like get up to get to it if you do have to get up early. But for some of my clients that work out at home, it simply meant like getting a fun yoga mat that's cute.
Mm-hmm.
But setting up something that you look forward to going to, and that makes it easier for you to stick with what you scheduled for yourself in your calendar.
That's funny. When I was a young school teacher, I would stay at school. I mean, when you're a young teacher, you could stay at
Oh,
school forever because the work is
yeah,
never done.
yeah,
But I would sign up for group fitness classes at 5:30, which meant I had to leave school at 5 o'clock. So that it just allowed me that dead stop, and then I
yeah.
would work out. So I love that. I love sleeping in your workout clothes. Hey, if it works and it's a tweak that is genius. That's like that is a simple tweak. I love it.
Yeah,
So
and I would
smart.
feel silly for staying in bed with a sports bra on. I'm like,
Yes.
it's already on. Like, let's just go do this thing. So,
I love it. That is so
yeah,
smart. I've heard
yeah.
of I've heard of people bathing their kids at night and getting them dressed for school and they sleep in their clothes and then they send them off. Hey, if it simplifies your life, you do whatever it needs to happen. I love that.
Yeah,
Okay.
good.
A lot of people struggle with consistency. Okay, so now I have the motivation to start, but how do I maintain the momentum? What advice do you have to stay motivated and make fitness a sustainable part of your life? We talked about the calendar, which I think is genius. What else
Good.
do you have?
This is going to come from a person who has an all or nothing
Mm.
personality, but exercise is never all or nothing. And oftentimes, something is going to be where you live.
Mm.
Like you're going to have life thrown at you. You're not going to feel 100%. Maybe your sleep was off the night before. So, signing up for something is signing up for consistency.
Mhm.
If you have an all or nothing personality, okay, I saw this Instagram video and it was so spot on. So she's putting on her lipstick and she misses her lip just a little bit, and then she just like goes all over her face. And then she gets her coffee ready and she spills a little bit of coffee and then she just dumps it all over the counter. And I'm like, what is she doing? The point was like, if you're off a little bit in your routine, you're not all the way off. Like if you
Mm.
spill a little bit, you don't have to spill it all. So if you're off your routine a little bit, if your workout wasn't what you wanted it to be, or if you missed your workout, it's okay. Don't throw the towel in. Just
Mm.
attack it again tomorrow. And one of the tweaks that I love, Erin, that I think that you have is like setting a timer.
Mm.
So one of the things that I do to stay consistent is on days where I feel like I don't really want to move my body, I set a timer for 10 minutes and I just start.
Mm.
If 10 minutes in, I still feel like I don't want to do this, then I moved for 10 minutes, I check that box and I move on with my day. And I think that's hard for people to understand, that somebody in the fitness industry like doesn't want to move. Yeah, it happens all the time. So knowing that not every day is going to feel great is important to know. Knowing that it's not an all or nothing, and then setting a timer maybe on those days that it's hard. Because guess what? I think probably 9 times out of 10 when I set that timer, I end up working out the full time because it does feel good. It's just getting those wheels turning right away that's probably the hardest.
Yes. And I think a big aha for me, I'm a all or nothing kind of gal. I'm working towards not being that way, a former
Yeah.
perfectionist. But that
Yeah.
idea of perfection and consistency are not the same thing. Like those
Yes.
are not synonymous. And I think that's a huge aha when we stop and say, like, consistency and perfection are not the same. And we're robbing ourselves of some by saying it's all or none. And that's
Yes.
I like to walk every day, but not every day can I walk my 2.5 miles. Like it
Right.
doesn't happen. But I'd rather get out there for 5 minutes than not at all. And so that mindset, changing that mindset really does help so much. I love the
And one
10.
other thing, yeah, and one other thing I thought of, and I think this you've gotten here, and when my clients get to this place, like it fills my heart. But like noticing the little things and celebrating the little wins along the way brings consistency. But when you're focused on a huge target and a huge goal, it can get really discouraging because those goals take a lot of consistency and a long time to get to. But like I had a woman message me in tears because she grabbed her Stanley with one hand for the first time ever because her grip strength was finally strong enough to do that. I had a client tell me this morning that without even thinking at the park, she picked up her son, put him over her head, and sat him on her shoulders. And her husband was like, "You good?" And she was like, "Yeah, what else you got? Like, give me a backpack. I'll put it on too." But noticing when life gets easier because of the time that you're investing in yourself breeds consistency over anything else.
That's the thing. Like last night, I was playing baseball with my son, and my whole purpose of getting back into fitness was to be strong for my family and for myself so I
Mhm.
could keep up with them because our kids are active. But,
Yeah,
playing around in the backyard, running around with him, I wasn't winded. I wasn't tired. I mean, my
love
arm
it.
finally gave out, but, it was like 150 pitches later.
Oh,
But I even told you one day, I had took a video of myself and I have body dysmorphia, so it's really hard for me to see anything positive. But I said I took a video of myself and I was like, my butt kind of looked good.
yes, yes,
Looks toned. And so,
yeah.
yes, celebrating those wins and, like, oh, I can do 2 push-ups instead of 0 push-ups, or I can walk around the block for 5 minutes and not feel winded. I mean, those are huge. And the more we celebrate, because honestly, a big goal and failing all the time is not motivating, but those small wins motivate us like no tomorrow.
Yep. And us perfectionists got to drop that bar down and say like, these are the little wins along the way that are going to get me towards those bigger wins.
And then you pointed out my shoulder muscles today. So then before, you, this is so
Yes.
embarrassing, but before I got in the shower this morning, I was flexing. It's like, yeah,
Uh-huh.
I do have a shoulder muscle.
Yeah. And consistency breeds confidence, right?
Yes.
And so you start to feel more confident, not only as a parent, maybe playing baseball, but like in how you walk and how you feel. So I think getting the ball rolling with consistency, dropping that all or nothing mentality breeds all of that. Like it all just comes to fruition. So
I love that. I love that. Okay. So a lot of people avoid working out because they feel intimidated. Amen. I think we've all
mm,
felt that. So, whether it's not knowing what to do, feeling self-conscious in a gym, or thinking they aren't fit enough to start. Oh my goodness, yes, I felt all of those things. So, what advice do you have for someone who wants to move but feels stuck because of intimidation?
that's a great question. And I've been there. I walked into a gym for the first time. So I was a 4 sport athlete in high school, got injured my senior year. So I came to college on crutches. So
Mm.
then coming off of the crutches, I had never walked into a gym and not had a coach. I didn't know what to do. And I walked in and I remember being like, I'm just going to walk laps in my baggy t-shirt. And I don't even know what those weights are for. I didn't know what to do. So I've been in that situation, friends, and I know how intimidating that is. So a couple of things. First of all, nobody in the gym, and I promise you this is true, like tried and true. Nobody cares about what you're doing because they are so focused on themselves. They
Mm.
have their workout and their routine and their thing to do. So while it may like feel like all eyes are on you, that's just simply not the truth. So people